Hi everybody, sorry that this video is so long after my last. The reason being that I have been managing the workload, so at least you know that the advice you're getting is from someone who actually practices what she preaches. Now, this video about managing the workload when you start university I think is probably more applicable to people who are not in their first year, because from my experience anyway, first year work, however hard it is, however much of it there is, doesn't count for anything of your final degree. So even if you really want to do well, if you don't manage the workload, it's not the end of the world, you just need your 40%. I'm not saying that I condone that attitude, but I think that is how a lot of people see it. So maybe if you're second year or third year, or just a really hard-working, dedicated first year, then this video will be helpful to you. I think the main piece of advice I can give about managing the workload at university is probably what your parents and teachers have been telling you for years, and that is prioritise. By this I mean, if you have a piece of work due in on Monday and a piece of work due in on Thursday, get the Monday one done first, because it makes sense. It's chronological and it just makes perfect sense. Another useful thing when it comes to prioritising is to make sure that the piece of work that is worth the most has the most time put into it. The door's going to keep creaking, and I think it's probably because there's a cat sitting outside. And by this I mean, if you have a piece of work that is worth 25% of the final grade, and also a piece of work that is 75% of another grade, then the 75% should theoretically have more time put into it because it's worth more. Something I do, which I don't know if it works for everyone, but it works for me when it comes to having a big load of work and needing to get it done, but also needing to not burn myself out as such, is to kind of work on a reward system, which is a bit sad, but it works for me. And by this I mean, if there's something I really want to do that is fun and not uni based, such as watch the Great British Bake Off or play Sims 3, I let myself do it as long as I have got a certain amount of work done that day. So for example, I'm at the moment trying to do a 20-page portfolio for one of my modules, but if I want to play Sims, I'm only going to let myself play Sims if I get a page of that portfolio done. So it basically means that you have something to strive towards, especially if you're like me and absolutely love playing The Sims. When it comes to the time frame of getting work done, I think it's kind of hard to give advice on this because everyone's different, and by this I mean some people genuinely work better under pressure. For example, if they know they've got a piece of work due in 2 days' time, they're going to do better in it than if they started to do it a month before the deadline. There's, I think, probably 3 types of people. There's the people who this genuinely works for, there's the people who say this works for them, but really they just want to procrastinate, and then there's the third type of people, which are like me, that hates leaving work to last minute and just does not enjoy the pressure and does not do as well under the pressure. You need to be honest with yourself about the sort of person you are. In first year, I was a combination of the second type of person and the type of person I mentioned at the beginning of the video, in that I knew none of it counted. So as much as when it came to doing the work, I did put a lot of effort into it and I did make sure I did as best as I could in that context, I left it last minute and tried to make myself feel better about it by saying, oh, I work well under pressure, when really I work really badly under pressure. I spent so many nights up all night with my friend Simon. We used to literally, he didn't live in halls, but he used to stay in my halls till 4 o'clock in the morning. We'd be frantically trying to do an essay that was due in at 10 o'clock the next day. We'd get distracted. I remember once we had an essay during the next day and we sat down in the afternoon to write it, and it got to 10 o'clock that night and all we had done was listen to Tenacious D and Green Day and just sing every single word, and we didn't get any work done. So you really need to be honest with yourself about how you work best and when you're going to get the best out of your ability. That's really important. And the last thing that I think is important at a university level, if your schooling experience was anything like mine, you would have had loads and loads of people who would not do their homework, and then they'd be like, oh, I didn't know it was due in today. That might work on your teachers at school, but chances are it's not going to work at university. it's meant to be self-motivated study. They're not gonna let you off if you didn't know it was due in. They're just gonna say, well, you should have known it was due in. So what I do, which I don't actually know any of my other friends who do this, all our module guides are online, but I print mine all off and I keep them in my folder with all my work so that I've got my deadlines in front of me. They're all written down there. I've got no excuse to forget. And it just helps me keep on the ball. And for me, anyway, that's really important when it comes to managing my workload, is always knowing what I've got to do and when it's got to be done by. Anyways, I think that's all the advice I have on this subject, and I'm not sure if there's any other videos that I've actually been asked to make about people who are at university now. So I'm going to start blogging back to how I was now until I get any more, if I get any more suggestions. So my next video will just be me kind of chatting about what I've been up to so far this semester, because my semester has been really good and I really want to talk about it. And I hope that everyone who has started university this year has had a similar experience and that you're enjoying it and that you're liking living away from home and that you've made loads and loads of friends and that you're enjoying your course. And let me know about it in the comments, especially if I've spoken to you before in the build-up. I'd love to hear how you're getting on. Anyways, thank you for watching these videos. I hope they've been useful. Every time I get a comment saying they have, I feel so happy, and that has made it all worthwhile. And yeah, I will see you for more normal vlogish behaviours soon. Bye!